let's take you into the beautiful world of the arts. I mean, when there are different things happening here and there, you look at the economy, you look at your pocket, arts maybe gives you that very good escape away from the reality, which is sometimes harsh, and you can even create your own reality using art. So we do not joke with art at all. I think it's one of the best gifts that divinity gave man. And this morning we're joined by someone who's at the forefront of pushing, brilliant artworks, not just in Nigeria, across the world. We're joined by Dr. Kunle Adeyemi, contemporary Nigerian visual artist, consultant, and lecturer. A veteran artist, I should say. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Morning Brief.
Yeah, thank you very much.
First, your outfit is just art.
It's culture. It's culture.
It's culture.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Today is Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
That's right.
But you are also a force.
Okay.
In the world of art.
Yeah.
So I want you to speak to us about your journey, first of all, because I know a lot of young people look up to you. Maybe some of them have been looking forward to a conversation with you. So let me channel that. Let them channel that conversation through me. Okay. And walk us through your journey as an artist. How many years have you been doing this for, and how rewarding has it been?
Well, thank you so very much. And again, thank you for channels that have actually started this discourse, quite the art house has been, and then so channels, television helped to, make art visible all over the world. And so people call me, oh, they saw you in UK. People say, yeah, we saw you on channels, television. People in the US say, I saw you. When I said, well, that's it. The journey so far, well, I have started this journey happenstance, my father identified that talent in me, when I was quite some time. But I used to play football.
Wow.
Yes, and he didn't want me to play football, because that time footballers are not treated well. The days of Thunder Balogun, so much of them. And so we found out that in my state, in my town, Ondo town, we see footballers on the wheelchair, broken legs and all that. So my father didn't encourage it at all, so he knew, he saw the art in me, so he occupied me with that, and as he took me to a local artist, who, when I come back from school, we used to have Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, Form 5, Form 3. He used, he put me under that street artist, that's in 1973, and that I started growing from there, started knowing what that man was doing. I finished my school certificate very well, and again, he wanted me to become a doctor. Medical, that's the dream of parents those days, but he took me to one of his cousins, late Adeyemi, who was actually a medical doctor. He works in the Bobi hospital or something like that. And I said, this young man, my son wants to become a doctor. And the man looked at my results, said, wait a minute. This can't be, he can't be that he didn't have chemistry, he didn't have physics.
So that was the lifeline, that was the saving grace.
But on the second note, he looked at the result and wanted to give me bad results. I said, look, this guy have alpha in art. He said, he come to my father and said, this young man can actually be an artist. Look at art, literature, history, and all that. That's his end. And that was where my father discovered that, I have actually been doing it,
right.
But I didn't know. So that's where my art journey started.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And here you are right now. And I want to dive into your work, Paintograph and Paintocaster rather. And I see your work, and first it stands out.
Okay.
You want to ask who did this?
That's right.
I mean, we have a lot of them. This is you right here.
Oh yes, that's one of the mural I did for National Museum, gratis. I actually volunteered to do that for National Museum.
Wow.
Lagos, yeah. Sometimes I do those charity works. Yeah. Pro bono, yeah. I took my students there. I was the dean of the art school, Yaba College of Tech, at a particular point in time. So I took my students there, and we helped to,
let's beautify the space.
Beautify the space, exactly.
I know you've definitely lost count how much work you have done, how much you have sold. But what is that unique style? How are you able to first because it's a mix of different things. As an artist, you want to convey a message.
Yes.
Now, sometimes conveying that message can be tricky because some might not be able to relate with that message. But again, you have to make it relatable. You know, they say artists are like gods.
Okay,
in that sense.
Priests.
You know,
Yes,
so
yes,
you have
yes.
to step down as
Yeah.
much as you are in that spiritual space. You have to also step down so people can relate with what you're doing. And there's also the economic angle of it. You have to make money. So how do you blend all of those into place?
Well, the art school, fortunately, I attended Yaba College of Technology from 1979 to 84. And so the primary aim of that college, that art institution, is to make you an artist that will be useful to your community, not just an artist that will be theorizing. You know, so we are on the practical level. And so our lecturers and Kolade Oshinowo, Yusuf Grillo, they will ask you to tell you, you go from realism to the unknown. You know, you just don't go and do abstract or anything. You must, they teach you how to go about it. Drawing, you know, do so many of these things. And then, so you are first the real person before you start theorizing, before you start doing some other things. So that forms the basis. You know, so when we're growing up, again, the artist is the driver of the vehicle, you know, and so you can actually, and then you aside from doing the mundane, you just be able to go into something special, just like some of our masters, Bruce Onorapeya, Kolade Oshinowo, Jegede, Professor Grillo, and so on and so forth. So they started from somewhere and they moved to where people would now art has something in common. I mean, some people will sit down and begin to study. You can study an artwork for a year and you still be very interested.
Right.
That is just exactly.
Sir, I want us to study your work on the show this morning. So what we've done is curated some of your work.
Fantastic.
And we'll be putting them on the screen.
Yes.
And you'll be walking us through some of your work. So let's start with this one. It looks like my director has a preference for this. So let's begin with this.
This is titled Female Form. The female form. I did some series on females. You know, I love the feminine gender, and I love the creation of God upon them.
Oh, certainly.
You know, everything about women, they are all finished. The man is done to a level scripturally, you know, but the women. So by the time I looked at the women, I love some things about them. I'm not a womanizer, but I know that. So this is actually looking at the figure of the woman. Right. You see the round, the roundness in some of the areas, you know, and all that stuff. So that, but the method, you know, the experiment I did, it was a research, you know, while I was doing my PhD, my supervisor said, look, Kunle, you have been painting, you have been drawing, so let us do something different. You know, so I started looking at how I want to amalgam painting and printmaking. Printmaking is a genre, and the painting is another genre. Before then, the painting, you have that block. Printmaking, you have that block.
So you brought them together.
I brought them together, fused. You know, look at some areas, you know, in printmaking that I can actually put into printing, and I blew up. You know,
so what material? And this is another one.
Yes.
I love this one.
Fantastic. This is a musician ensemble. You know, some of my areas that I've studied were social commentary, fine. You know, but the other areas are the culture-related areas. You know, the drummers, those who make you happy, women, environment, you know, things. You know, so some of those areas are things that I sit down sometimes and I conceptualize and I put onto my.
This is metal.
Metafoil. Metafoil is a different technique. You know, I learned that from Bruce Onorapeya, who is a veteran in that area. It's a little bit. It's not what we teach in school. But I choose to begin to teach my students now, because each time I go outside the country to exhibit or to do residency, the Igbo man will say, but Kunle, what about this? What about that? So I know that it is even...
There's a lot of demand for it.
Exactly. So I now say, look, my country, my children, I mean, my students should be able to benefit from this area. You know, so using unconventional materials, you know, something that is used for building, something that is used for some other products, and bring it to the art.
How long does it take, or did this take?
Okay, this, for instance, if I concentrate on it on a regular, because it goes from doing, of course, you have to conceptualize the drawing, then go into the sculpture aspect of it, charging and recharging, and at the end of the day, you now do the mold, and from the mold, you now place your foil, and then you burnish the foil. When you burnish the foil, you now strengthen it again with resin or iodide, and so it takes a lot while. It takes time. So it's a project. Some of my works are projects. 3 months, 2 months. Yes.
So it's understandable if you put a price to it.
Yeah, if I put a price to it,
and it's a very fair price.
These days, one is getting a little bit older at 66.
Right.
What happened is that I have some of those children or some of those students that I have trained, in my studio, and at that, one, it's a division of labor. Why am I doing this? I teach them so that they can actually have something that we can popularize that art too.
True.
So it's important.
Brilliant. So they always say a success is not a success without successors.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing.
That's it.
Basically replicating
That's
yourself.
Right.
So we're able to enjoy
and
this.
I'm encouraging every artist to do that.
I was going to ask if it's too late for me to take up this job.
Why not? We can do masterclass. We can do some
adult
classes.
classes.
No, but you see, it's a therapy.
Right.
When it's not just for the bread and butter, but people like you will after all, there's this one president that learned painting. And so when the hula baloo of, the administration and all that comes in, and he goes right into his recession and just paint and forgets, and put some light music.
We should try that. Well, we have to thank you so much. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of creativity, knowledge, and all that. We're speaking with Dr. Kunle Adeyemi, contemporary Nigerian visual artist, consultant, lecturer, and veteran artist. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Again, thank you, Channels Television. Thank you, Art House, and thank you for what you're doing in the world of art.
Thank you so much.
It's a good encouragement for the Nigerian art.
We're grateful.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Funny enough, channels go to every nook and corners of this country. Port Harcourt, Anambra, discovering the art.
Because there's so much beauty in that.
Yes. We know the art of this country can sell this country.
Thank you for appreciating
and we make so much money from that.
We're grateful, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Well, there you have it. We'll keep bringing you all of this beauty. But we have to take a break now. Of course, I'll continue my conversation with Dr. Adeyemi. I'll be right back on The Morning Brief.